This is Intoxikatey, and welcome back to week 2 of Killer Katz Crew. We're going to be bullshitting about some music news, some very special announcements for myself for New England, and I know my beautiful counterparts have some other things to say.
Yes, 3 women, way too much to rant about, 1 podcast. But this week I'm crabby. Imagine that. Politics have started up in the U.S. already for the election that isn't until next year, 2016. So if I may quote a well-respected man, Mr. Thomas Gabriel Fisher, I'm ready to relax and have some fun with my girls and talk some metal and some badass females.
Oh yeah. This week it's all about badass females, about metal, and we've added a film as well. So we hope you're gonna enjoy our run today. We are the show your parents did not realize they should warn you about. I'm NHLeviathan, and I'm gonna be taking you right on to our first subject, which is metal news. I think we have Katie first, who's gonna present some interests.
Yes, and I just remembered that this early morning that I have to pronounce Finnish words. I am going to be talking about Horda. Oh wow, my R's are not going to be rolling this morning, I'm sorry. They have a new album coming out, Hengen Tulit, if I have that one right. It's going to be released, I believe, on September 22nd. It's their first full-length album since 2013. They released their first track off of this album on their website, and I highly recommend people head over and listen to it if they have not yet. I noticed that, I don't know if it was just me or not, but they seem to have upped their production quality a bit, which was nice because they're one of those bands known for not so much having the best production quality because it's black metal. But it reminded me a bit of Sargeis, Let the Devil In. The production quality went up, and so followed the rest of the music. It kind of they wasted no time getting into it, obviously. Super fast, awesome vocals. It had this one chorusy part in the middle that kind of reminded me of some old Nada Frost off of Blood and Vomit. Made me happy, made me expect to hear Nada Frost vocals. Didn't have Nada Frost vocals, got sad, but then continued to listen to the song. So definitely go check that out. Very much looking forward to their new album. Again, that comes out on September 22nd, and we'll link their website if you can't find it, but it's pretty simple. So that's my my musical news as far as, new albums and such like that.
Awesome. No, don't feel bad because I have to pronounce Swedish words, so
I originally had the intro all in Finnish, and I have it written down, but I'm sorry, I'm way too tired to be able to do it.
Well, my music news is about Alpha Hane, which I'm such a huge fan of, and they have a new album coming out September 11th, I believe it is. I'm looking at my notes correctly. I'm lost. Anyway, very excited for their sophomore release. Their first debut album was called Alphapocalypse. And this sophomore release is called Blood Eld Alpha. If I got that right. I'm gonna go to my Finnish friend to help me out here. Let's see.
Yeah, that's Blood Eld Alpha.
Blood Eld Alpha. They hail from Eskilstuna, Sweden. And this album, like the debut from them, offers an impressive lineup of guest vocalists to help them spread chaos that they deliver so well. Guest vocalists on this album include Erland Jellik, is that right? Jellik? From Kvelertak.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, Spelgoth from Horna, and Turn Me On Katdilert? I think I got that. Cat Dealer.
Something. Yeah, that's Put Me On Katdilert is Finnish.
Okay. Getting there.
metal slash techno electro group.
Look them up. Nat Frust from Soren, and of course Nicholas Carforth from Shining, who we all love, we all adore. They formed back in 2010, and they have a mixed style of black metal, punk, and rock, and they create a gritty, in-your-face punch to your ear holes. It's awesome. And from the first rip off of Alpha Apocalypse, their debut album, to the last ringing note, it's a continuous kick to the head. My hopes are to be damaged further by Brood El Alpha. And judging from the first song that has been released, Skuller Gift, featuring Erland from Kvelertak, the sophomore release sounds a bit more polished. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm a huge fan. I mean, I have them tattooed on my body, which is ridiculous. I traveled all the way to see them last February in Blastfest. They were my main goal. That's who I got to see and got to meet them, and now we're friends, and it's great. So hoping to interview them when the actual album comes out, so hopefully they'll make it to the podcast and blow us all away.
Yeah, we definitely are gonna try and have Alpha Hanne here for a guest appearance.
Need the Death Cult.
We are working on it, and we're gonna try and have that like a bit nearer to the release of Blooded Alpha.
Yes. So that's my news, and now I'm gonna kick it over to Nelly. She's got some exciting news about Shining and everyone's on pins and needles.
Yeah, there are some good news that I have. As you guys probably know, there is a documentary being made of Shining. You probably have been seeing these trailers on YouTube, sharing the Shining documentary trailers to our site after this casting. So what's happening right now is that, yes, the documentary has been delayed a bit, but I have now been informed that all of the interviews are now ready, and only leaves the editing. And yeah, the editing is gonna take a while, and it's being done by the director guy Martin Strandberg, and he's a busy fellow. Right now Martin is touring with Sabaton, filming things for them as well, but we have high hopes to see the documentary coming out in 2016, so stay tuned, because Martin has hundreds and hundreds of hours of material filmed, and everybody who has been in some contact with Shining at some point, business-wise, every one of them has been interviewed, so it's going to show a complete scale of people from the very beginning until the present day when it comes out. It's a bit shocking. It's not for the faint of hearted, and it's definitely not safe for work material, but I believe we have something to look forward to with that.
Yes, as a huge
also,
Shining fan, awesome. Sorry to jump.
So both of you are very, very huge fans, so I was thinking that you're gonna get excited when you hear this. Also, I was told that the Wacken gig that Shining played last weekend was filmed, and hopefully we can finally see some live DVD action. Let's hope that the current label Season of Mist takes it up and fixes something. It would be cool to finally have a good show filmed live from them, especially for those like the people in the States who have not had the chance of witnessing Shining live. And speaking of shows, we are now also going to be doing a small portion called Gig News from now on, and we're going to be talking about the latest gig gossip, what we have heard from the gig front the last week and so. And this week we're going to be starting with Chrissy and Katie. Katie, I think you will be the first one. You had some exciting festival news from the US.
I do. Originally, I wasn't sure if I was going to hear back from some of the bands that I was waiting for. Um, and I was going to plug Winter is Coming Fest, which is something that's been happening well, actually, even though it's only the second one, it's been attempting to happen again for a couple of years. A couple of local guys started it a couple of years ago. It's mostly just black metal, but it's definitely come forth a little bit from there. So everybody in the New England region knows about it at this point. Krieg is headlining Friday. As Saturday, they don't have a headliner, but they have a bunch of other bands playing. Inhuman Form, Malakath, Pathosutria, Faces of Babylon. Sunday, and I'm excited about this just as much as my own news that I'm about to say. They actually got Inquisition to headline our little festival on Sunday, which everybody's super excited about because it's Inquisition. Now, for the people who have been following my Facebook for the past couple weeks, I've been posting these very vague hints, like hint, this is going to take a lot of money. Hint 2 was something along the lines of, if this doesn't work, I might have to go move to Norway to run away from people. So what it is me, Jess, Zany, and a couple others, Tim, Riley, people that you guys as the podcast don't know, but they'll like that I threw their name out there. We've been putting together the very first Anti-Cosmic Music Festival that will be taking place next July 22nd and 23rd. We have a bunch of local bands confirmed, but also we have confirmed Make a Change, Kill Yourself, and Agnantir, both from Denmark and Sweden. And I did get an email last night that Chrissy, Nelly, I'm not sure if it was an actual confirmation, and I don't know if I should announce it just yet. Do you have any?
Depends on who it came from.
Let me pull up the email, and I could just keep everybody on edge for another couple weeks, which would be hilarious. Tony did send me the email asking about some more stuff and asking me to put some more shows on the line. But
That sounds good.
Yes, it does. We have asked Shining to play. So we hopefully, I'm assuming that was a fairly good possibility that it will turn into a yes. But up until now, we do have Make a Change, Kill Yourself, Agnantir, Order of Leviathan, Murum, Hubris, Sasawunu, Vacant Eyes. We've recently asked Tome, who's opened with Tane a couple times over here. They're really awesome, just obscure and mind-fuckingly good music. So that was my announcement. Hopefully I'll have more on the other bands who have responded in a couple days. I did get that email from Tony at like 11 o'clock last night. So I'm assuming I'll have more information on that soon. But yeah, next year, Anti-Cosmic Music Fest. Super exciting. Chrissy?
I get to go.
Yeah, just to clear up on that, that's Tony works for an agency called The Damager. You should all definitely go check out all the gigs that he arranges. Well, one of the biggest ones working with metal in Finland right now, and has also a pretty impressive lineup in terms of the bands that he represents worldwide, including the band from Short, of Empyrean Forest fame, and Alpha Hanne, of course, and Shining. So go check out The Damager as well. Now I'm going to hand over to Chrissy, because I think that Chrissy, as a fangirl of King Diamond, got pretty excited about something we found out recently.
Yes, he just announced the Abigail in Concert Tour for 2015, the fall and winter, in the U.S., and he's actually coming to Minnesota, which is rare because he hasn't been here since like 2004. And yeah, I mean, constantly excited with all this news that's coming on. And just saw him with the Mayhem Fest, which was nice. but once again, it's a festival and you only get 40 minutes. And he does a very well condensed set, and he gets it all in there, and he does a great mix. I actually have the set list from that, thanks to my significant other, because he's such a huge King Diamond fan. He knows it. And but they did they did throw some Abigail songs in there. And but I did hear that it is going to be the same set design, so it'll be really exciting to watch him do the whole thing with, and have the time, to see the whole show and actually have King Diamond fans there, not just the Mayhem Fest people that you guys heard me talk so much about. And one of the cool things that did happen at Mayhem Fest is that we were able to meet the girl that plays Grandma on stage. Her name is where is it? Help! Jody Kachia. Super cool girl. Super
Jody,
cool.
yeah.
Badass. You would never know that she would have been up on stage, but Michael recognized her right away and introduced me to her, and super nice. To sat and talked to her for about 10 minutes and just kick ass. But yeah, I'm super excited, especially since King Diamond, he's 59 years old, had his triple bypass. It's amazing that he's still out there just kicking ass. And yeah, exciting. That's all I have to say.
He's definitely one of the men of metal, considering what he's been through, and he's still out there and pulling off these kick-ass shows with everything done to perfection. King Diamond is definitely one of the favorites, and not to mention also his guitarist Andy LaRocque. Andy is one hell of a guitarist as well, and Jody. Jody is.
His shows are
she's
so
a goddess.
dialed in. It's amazing to watch. So I'm excited to watch the whole thing. And like I said, for him to actually come back to Minnesota, it's been almost 10 years. So it'd be nice to not have to travel to see. But I'm excited to travel to Massachusetts for Intoxikatey. So I've never been there. I'm excited.
Well, you're more than welcome. I definitely hope to see you there, that's for sure. It's going to be interesting.
Yes.
For everybody.
And with that, we go to Nellie with her news.
Oh, and we also go to the news, and yes, we're going to do it with a cat. And what I wanted to talk to you about is something that Katz is a bit pissed off about. Finland festivals, because there are so many. The Finnish festival summer is always full of metal festivals, and I myself privileged of being to quite a many of them this year. What I wanted to highlight was the Tuska festival. Every year Tuska brings in the biggest and baddest in metal, not just the mainstream acts, but also a lot of underground stuff. And they do it with everything honed to perfection, as in all of the things that you might expect are very well taken care of. There's food, there's drink, there are good stages, good services. So as a festival goer, I highly recommend Tuska. And this year, the main acts were Opeth and Alice Cooper, which were fantastic shows. And the sound quality was perfect, the weather was perfect. But what I would like to highlight from this year's Tuska Festival is that they had the performance from a collective called Strong Scene Productions. And I'm not sure whether you've heard about it yet, or maybe you heard about it during the spring. What happened during last spring was that H&M, the clothing company, had this line of clothing that had logos on them. Right. You see in the pictures here, they are bands that did not but the logos themselves are complete rip-offs from bands like Burzum and other more underground metal acts. So what then happened was that 15 guys, musicians from Finland, got really, really pissed off at H&M, saying that it's not good to do this. It's not okay to use things you know nothing about. Extreme metal is something that has many themes incorporated into it. Paganism, all kinds of other religious things, and one of the worst things being, of course, that some of the bands are highly political, some of them even being Nazi bands. So what these musicians did was that they added music for all of the bands behind these stupid logos, and actually through YouTube. So what happened at Tuska Festival was then that all of these fake bands of fake logos actually performed. They actually made the whole performance based around these made-up things, styles of metal, going from the kind of, you know, true Norwegian black metal all the way to hippie stuff, and from there to all kinds of devil-worshipping Mexicano bands. And that show that I then witnessed at Tuska was one of the most freshest shows in metal I've seen in years. And I highly recommend that everybody should go and check out the actual performance, because they actually filmed it and put it live onto YouTube. So you can go and check out our links later, and go and check out the Strong Scene Production show in its totality, all the 45 minutes of it, from YouTube later. For me, I think gig-wise, it's about everything I had to say. The Finnish festival summer is still going strong. Right now we have Jalo Metalli in Oulu, Finland, where, for example, Obituary and Shining and Alpha Honey are playing. And I think that's one interesting festival more to check out. There's going to be a lot more other Finnish festivals during this winter as well. And yes, we also have a cat that's very interested in joining the podcast. But talking about this cat, it's a she. She's called Katz, and she's a badass cat, a badass female cat. And in every episode from now on, we will be presenting some badass females for you guys. And mostly those women are going to be from the world of sex and drugs and rock and roll. And maybe we could start with Chrissy. I think you got a pretty interesting badass female to present to us today.
I do. I met her last February at Blastfest, and I was honored enough to be tattooed by her. Her name's Trina Grimm. I'm going to probably butcher her last name. I don't know if it's Loth or Lothy. I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but she's a great stipple tattoo artist. She's a fine art artist. She ties in with the Alpha Honey new album because she did the cover artwork, and it's amazing. It's mind blowing. Her fine art skills, and she works at Lucky 7 Tattoos in Oslo, Norway, and she does a lot of conventions around Norway and Helsinki and the like. So when I got tattooed by her, it was a nice welcome change from the heavy-handed tattooing that I'm used to, and I just barely felt it at all, and it was nice. I'd show it to you, but it's on my back and it's kind of hard to see, but she did a really nice sigil, and sigil of Asmodeus, or Asmodeus, however you want to pronounce it. And if you get a chance, check out her artwork, check out her tattoo work. She has an Instagram page, and she also has a Facebook, Trina Grimm Tattoos. And of course, she's beautiful, and she snowboards, and she's got it all, and she's so nice. I hate her. Oh, I'm just kidding. She's nice, beautiful, and she's incredibly talented, and it was nice to meet her, and hopefully, if she's back at Blast Fest next February, I'll get my other shoulder tattooed by her. It would be awesome. So, yeah, check her out. She's kicking
Cool.
ass.
And talk about us females. Do you have one Intoxikatey for us this week?
What's funny is like I'm scrolling through my Instagram because I found it. Sorry, I was trying to remember the name of this artist, and for me it's kind of difficult to pick like somebody who isn't already in this podcast or like my mom to consider a badass woman. I mean, she's done a pretty good job keeping me alive so far. I did find this one person, and I don't know her actual name. Her Instagram name is One More Fix, and she does some of the most amazing drawings that I will definitely be sharing through our Facebook page later. She does a lot of really detailed eyes, but a lot of her stuff is very on the occult side, if not just finding the beauty in the natural. Like, I'm looking at some of the things now. She did a heart with like an octopus around it, and just some of her stuff is just absolutely awesome, and it's terrifying too. She does a lot of long fingernails, needles, stuff like that. She's really fantastic. But fictitious-wise, I would totally pick Arya from Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, awesome show, and that little girl's like 10 and has killed more people than I have so far. She's been on her own with like no mental issues standing in. I mean, kind of, maybe, if anybody follows that. Yes, I just see the Valamar Ghoulies. But she tends to be one of the most badass people on that show, and if I was in the Game of Thrones, if I wasn't Ned Stark and already got beheaded, I'd totally be Arya.
Yeah, I'd want to hang out with her.
That's a good choice, I think.
But
I definitely hang out with Arya Stark too.
she's awesome.
For myself, I think that for this week, I was first thinking about some music people, but then I came to think of a recent up-and-coming. I think that's something that's sometimes a bit underrated or then thought of the wrong way, as in when females go and flaunt their assets, as in when there are people who want to become professional models, fetish models, and just in general looking good and making a living out of it. Sometimes those females get dragged down to the mud because of people think that they're stupid, which is really weird, as in they have things to show, they have the attitude to do it, and generally that's something that makes a person a badass female in my books. And I'm going to take up today is Dunny Divine. She hails from the UK. She's been on the cover of all the big fetish and latex magazines recently, and she also does a fantastic career out of these performances with, for example, Pyro Hex, the group of girls who perform at, for example, metal festivals and all kinds of happenings where you really need to have something extra on the stage besides just the music. So they do these kick-ass fire shows with sparks flying, things burning, and just dancing. It's fantastic. And Dunny herself, she has a fantastic booty, and she has a fantastic curvy body as well. And she's really one of the things to look out for if you're into fetish latex and good-looking female models in today's world. So that's my tip for the day. Dunny is very, very visible in Facebook, Instagram, and also has her own web pages. So go check them out. As usual, we're going to be sharing the links after the show. Now that we've talked about some females, I think that it would be time for some other kind of talk, movie talk. And for this week's film, we've picked something. Let me say it so.
Serbian Film. Which, if Trina had her way, she'd just tattoo her way out of that problem. That's my tie-in there for my girl, my badass girl. But anyway, a Serbian Film is a film made of, well, it's made in Serbia and it's made up of a fake snuff film. And it was released in 2010. It was banned in 11 countries. It's still banned in 11 countries. And chastised for its extreme graphic content, which personally I didn't think it was that extreme, but me being the horror and gore buff that I like to think I am, I thought it could have been worse. But yeah, it includes rape and necrophilia and child sexual abuse, which is kind of disturbing. And it's not a movie for the faint of heart, but if you're a gore hound, it's got some pretty good scenes in there. Of course, I do have, it's considered the director's cut, but I think there's a different cut out there that I need to see. So, but I did just rewatch it again tonight, and yeah, wondering what you guys thought about it.
Well, I managed to go until just 2 days ago without seeing this film. You ladies told me about it last week, and I remember hearing about it, and I was like, I might as well start doing some homework. I kept hearing mixed reviews when looking for it. Some people were talking about how fucked up it was. Some people were saying how it was disappointing. I found that the sheer psychological torture aspect was far more disturbing than any of the scenes that they filmed.
Right.
I mean, you know, not remembering anything, waking up covered in blood, like not being able to find your family, and then obviously that wonderful family reunion scene close to the end. Definitely not exactly the best. That was, I have to say, by the way, the first time in the movie where I actually cringed. when you kind of realized what was happening. That was just way, like, oh, maybe I didn't know what was happening in this movie after all. Definitely had a couple thoughts throughout the whole thing. Like, you know, there's nothing like watching a very violent, gory porno for 2 hours. I found myself also trying to figure out what exactly was my favorite part of the entire movie. I had 3 ties. One was that chick getting her head lobbed off with the machete. That was absolutely fantastic. I loved that scene so much. But also the really almost maniac-looking one-eyed dude getting his skull just completely penetrated. Or at the very end when they just take a nice family nap. I couldn't really decide which one of those were my favorite scenes. But I definitely recommend watching.
Those are definitely the most.
Yeah.
Those are definitely like remember. I'm just blurring my words here because I'm just thinking which one of those scenes is the best one. There's so many memorable moments, and though I think that if you think in terms of filming it and how it looks, it's not that good looking, but the idea takes it so much further, even though it might be classed as a B film. Otherwise, the sheer idea of how things happen in the movie and how the end turns out, I think that's what really stand out from the rest. I think that wraps up our movie part for this week. But we're still left with our check it outs for this week, as in we always have things for you guys to check out besides the ones that we've already mentioned. I think, Chrissy, you had a very special check it out for this week. It had a live thing included, wasn't that so?
Yes, my significant other is in a band called Hive, and they're from Minneapolis. and they're like a crust punk band. They're very heavy and gaining quite a following around here. And if you can check them out on Bandcamp. And they just released their EP, and they're playing tonight, but by the time this airs, that'll be too late. But they're also playing next week. They're playing a good old-fashioned punk basement show, and I'm excited to go to that. I haven't been to one of those since I was about 18, and I'm an old lady now, so I'll be crabby at that punk show. So, yeah, check them out on Bandcamp. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they have a FB page. But they do post their shows and stuff on FB. If they do, I can always.
Well, at least they do have a Bandcamp page. 5mpls.
Yep.
.bandcamp.com. So everybody go check that out. That's
Yes.
definitely worth checking out. Katie,
Yes.
you already talked about the new Horner song.
Yes, I'm definitely going to continue to yell at everybody to go check out that song on their page. And I have to say, I normally am one of those people who don't listen to just one song. I have to wait to get the whole copy, which happened with Shining's recent album too. I waited until I got that copy to listen to it. But definitely make the exception to go check this song out. If you already have, I'm going to do a shout out to not only my dog that's coming to hang out with me, but to Hubris out of Buffalo. And I'm doing this only because one of their vocalists, Andy, just recently got engaged like yesterday, and they announced it. So I figured it'd be nice to say congratulations to you guys. And it was awesome touring with them a couple months ago. And definitely go check out their stuff. They have a Facebook. I believe they also have a Bandcamp that's Hubris Band at .bandcamp.com. They recently just put out a full length, and they put out a split with us as well. That's really awesome. And somebody wants to say hi. Come here, you. Come here. Yes. So this is Portia.
There's the third crew member.
She's the one
Hi,
making all the noise in
Portia.
the background. So that wraps that up for me, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting back in this next week and maybe ranting about some stupid people in the working world.
Oh, I got tons of
That's
stuff.
definitely a kind of common subject between us all. So, yeah, that's about it for myself for this week as well. I urge you guys to go and check out our website. You can go in and comment on our episodes. You can also check out our sites on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, SoundCloud, YouTube, yada, yada, yada. So go in, leave your comments, leave your suggestions, whatever you want to say. It's love it when you guys just share your opinions with us, because we want to have some conversation. We want to get things moving. We want to keep things in motion. So go check us out. Hopefully, we can all then have all you guys back next week as well. So that's everything for me. Do you have something to wrap this chaotic episode up with, Chrissy?
Isn't there a guy who ordered another Shining package that we were going to mention?
Oh, yes, Anthony. Definitely.
Mr.
Anthony,
John
if you're not
Baptist.
listening today, do so next week. I urge you to. You'd love it.
Yes. You're such a big fan. You need to hear this.
See, now
Anyway.
I'm interested.
But yeah, that's all from this week.
Yeah, that's all I
And
got.
this is NHLeviathan logging out. Thanking you all.
I'm KP. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show.
I'm Intoxikatey. Get wasted. Mix your wine with your whiskey.
Word.
Bye-bye.
Toodles.